like shredders, I'm going to show you how to fit an INVISIFRAME Frame Protection Kit to your frame today. There are some good tips and tricks to share with you, so stay tuned and you can find out how to do it yourself. So you're going to want to make sure that your work area is super clean. If you've got any pets, make sure you've got rid of any of their dog hair, cat hair, because, well, you know how it sticks to literally everything, and we don't want it messing up your INVISIFRAME. I think Mr. Squirrel there, he should be okay, he's not moving, so I'll leave him where he is. Right, so we've got a nice clean work area. Let's have a quick look at these instructions. Top tip, read these from the top to the bottom. They're actually really useful, loads of good tips here. But if you are more of a visual learner, then keep watching this video. So you're going to need some baby shampoo, which you're then going to mix into a soapy water mix, as per the instructions. Here's one I made earlier, soapy water. Now, if for some reason you can't get hold of any baby shampoo, if you Google the pH balance of baby shampoo, then you may well find that you can find some sensitive washing up liquid which has the same pH balance, and you can use that instead. I have done that in the past and it's worked just fine. You're going to need a squeegee. This comes in the kit, so no need to worry about that. And then for cleaning your bike, you're going to need some lint-free cloths and some degreaser. And that's all that information is on this sheet. So now we need a nice clean bicycle. So to make this a bit easier for myself, I have actually removed the cranks and the chain just so they're not in the way, because I'm going to be sticking stuff around here and obviously onto the stays. I was really careful to make sure I got rid of all the grease, any grease build-up around the headset. That's often a pretty good place for you to find it. She's a beauty. Right, let's get this show on the road. Right, I've got my template. This is going to tell me what each of the pieces on the sheet, where it goes. But as you can see on a Scott Ransom, there are loads of tiny pieces. So what I'm going to do is start by marking all the right-hand side pieces, because I'm working on the right-hand side of the bike. And then that's going to hopefully make it a little bit easier to find all these teeny tiny bits. Right then, let's do the chainstay. So, got my soapy water. I'm going to make the frame nice and wet. I'm generous. I'm also going to make my fingers wet, like liberally. They are actually soaking wet, because what that means is you don't get any fingerprints on your tape, which is obviously very important. So let's look at my key. So I've marked all the right hand ones, so here we are. Find that on my sheet. This is the adhesive side. Make sure you've got a good hold of it so it doesn't fall on the floor. It can slip out your hands. Make sure it's nice and wet, and we take it to the bike. You can move it around if you're not quite sure where it's supposed to be. Take it off, put it back on as many times as you want, as long as you've kept it nice and wet. Take my squeegee and just start from the middle and push the water out. Just going to make sure you've got no air bubbles. You should definitely start with these smaller bits. It's a simple shape, so you haven't got to try and get the tape to go around any funny corners. So a little tip, when you are folding the tape around a 90-degree edge like this, if the top where the tape ends here is right on the edge of kind of the other side, you need to bring it away a little bit, because it's not going to stick basically. Make sure that you are working in at least 18 degrees Celsius. It does make a big difference. This morning, basically it was too cold. It was 15 degrees. My tape just wasn't flexible enough. In some of the more intricate areas, like here on the chainstay bridge, the tape actually, I've stuck it down and it's popped back up again. Just leave it, come back to it in say 10 minutes when the water is dried, and you'll probably find it's going to stick down just fine. And that's the same with the edges. You leave them overnight and then you're better to stick them down in the morning. Also, I'd say it's quite useful to use your thumbs or your fingers to push, to finish this off, push it over, because the heat in your fingers, I find, just can really help to get that to really stick down. So that's another little tip. And then once you've done all these small bits, you can move on to the scary bits, the bits which people will see if you get it wrong, including yourself. Top tube, down tube. So I got all the big bits done yesterday. It took quite a while. It does require a little bit of extra patience. Such a large piece of the frame. Don't be afraid to step back. Well, get a piece on, step back, have a cup of tea and a sit down, because you've got a bit frustrated with it. So I've left my bike to dry off all the edges I've pressed down. So literally you work around your bike and you just push those edges down with your thumb to make sure they're well stuck down. And if you are patient, you'll end up with a real nice finish like what I've got here. So there we go. Wheels and cranks back on. I am ready to ride. My bike is looking sweet as. So if you're planning on fitting an INVISIFRAME, I hope that's perhaps given you the confidence to crack on and give it a go yourself. Just be methodical and it will all be fine. So if you want to see more skills tutorials a bit more about bike tech, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and I will see you next time. Thanks very much.